Hello and welcome to Math 1325. This is Math for Business, the second course. It's often called Business Calculus also. My name is Robert D. Giovanni. I'm the Internet instructor for this course, and this orientation video is to help you get acquainted with the requirements of the course, the expectations, and hopefully to make you feel just a little more comfortable with how you're going to go about proceeding with this coursework. So hopefully you're familiar with Northwest Vista's main website. If you aren't, I'll guide you through here a little bit. What you want to do is log into what's called ACES, and this will allow you to get to your classes. And then here you'll put in your username and your password. If you do not know your username or need to get your password, you can click here to do that. I will assume that you know how to do that, and go ahead and log in with your credentials. And once you log in, you should see something up here, a tab that says My Courses. Click on that, and then make sure you're looking at the appropriate semester. In this case, it's fall 2015, and then find your class. So it says here Business Calculus. That's the Math 1325, Section 15. These are the other classes I'm teaching this semester. So we'll click on that course, and it'll take us to the home page for this class. Now we are now in another system, which is called Canvas, and you can tell by this blue banner up here. And I want to show you a couple of things about Canvas before we actually get into the course, which is here. We have what's called the inbox. Okay, so this is where all of our communication is going to take place. If I send you an email, or if I want to communicate with the class, I will send it to you through your inbox. If you want to send me something, then you must send it to me through Canvas. If you try and send me something through your Yahoo or Hotmail account, then most of the time I don't get it because it gets spammed out. And then also it's not considered to be official communication. So all communication between us has to be done officially through here. All right, so let's say that you want to send me an email. So what you'll do is you'll click Compose a New Message. You'll go ahead and find your class. In this case, it would be this one. And then over here, you give it a second, and you should be able to click on this. And you can actually email different people in the class, but you're most interested in emailing the teacher, which is me, Robert D. Giovanni. Then you type in the subject. We'll say test email. And I would say always click the send individual messages. That'll make it easier for me to be able to go through later and sort through emails if you do that. If you don't, it's not bad, but just try and remember to click that. And then if you need to ask me a question or something, or tell me about maybe something that's going on in your life that maybe you need an extension on a homework assignment, something like that, send me, whatever it is, help. And then you can always attach something if you need to, and you can even do a webcam video if you want, and you go ahead and send that to me. All right, so it's been sent, as you can see up here, and then now I should, if I click back on my inbox, I should see that in here. And of course, it's not there. Email to myself. It's not there. Well, let me see. Unread emails. I'm not sure why it's not showing up. Maybe it's because I sent it to myself. Well, let's not worry about it. It'll work whenever you send me something. It may also be lagging a little bit. So going back here, let's now look at the inbox. Over here is your inbox, and it'll show who the email's from and who it's to. So this was the student that sent me something. And if you have read it already, this dot will not appear. If it's unread, then the dot appears. So that's where you can check your email. So this is where you look for things from me to you. Now also, there's a settings selection up here, and this is where you can actually go in and do some more detailed stuff with Canvas that I really don't want to get too deep into here in this orientation, because this orientation is really about the class, not about setting up Canvas. So um, if you want to, there's a help tab here, and it'll help you, with any questions on setting up your profile, or if you want to add additional email addresses or get notifications on your cell phone or something like that. You can go through all of this. All right, so let's go back to the class. All right, so far all we've done is just establish that all of our email communication will take place using that inbox. Now this is the home screen, so we're at the home tab. And this view that you see here is my view as an instructor. So anything that's like grayed out down here, you won't see. These right here you will see, and then you of course won't have any of this stuff over here. So let's take you through things here. The first link here is the orientation video, and this orientation video is doesn't have a link to it, but it'll be there as soon as I'm done making this video. So if you need to go back and watch this video, this is where you can do it. And then there's the syllabus. So I need to go through the syllabus with you, so I'll go ahead and click on that. This is our official contract. It describes the way the course is going to be, well, how your grade's determined, how I'm going to run the class, things like that. So first of all, make sure you're aware this is a full term, fall term course. It's going to go from August to December. We actually do meet. There is a requirement that twice during the semester that you show up in person to take an exam. These exam dates are already set. They're going to take place on Saturdays. So what I expect for you to do is to try and accommodate these with adjust your life as necessary to make these exams. So I'm giving you, a good, almost 2 months heads up on this, and you almost have 4 months heads up on this. So I understand people do work, but I will expect that you can somehow work something out with your employer so that you can have this time off for these exams. In the event that you live out of town or you just absolutely cannot get off of work or something like that, you can take the test, but you must have a proctor for that test. That means you're going to have to find some local school, a library, someone who could administer the exam to you. And they have to be able to give you access to a computer. So you need to be able to have a computer present so that you can do your test online. Once you find a proctor, then you have to email me the proctor's contact information. So I need to know the name of the person that's going to be proctoring, their email, their phone number, and their affiliation. So I need to, let's just say, for example, you can't make it on Saturday, the October 17th. Let's say you can't make it. So what you decide is that you're going to take it on the Friday before. So you contact the library in Bernie, and there's someone out there, let's just say Jane Smith, and she's going to proctor for you. So I need Jane Smith's name, I need her email, I need her phone number, I need you to tell me that she's the technology coordinator at Bernie, library or something like that. And then what I will do is I will contact Jane, and I will make sure that she is who you're saying she is, and I will make sure that she is a fair, unbiased proctor, and that there won't be any conflict of interest there. And then once that's done, I will let you know that everything's good to go, and we'll set up the date and time, and you go in and you take the test. Now, keep in mind, this is only really for students who cannot make these adjustments to their schedule and can't be here on these Saturdays. I expect you to try. I mean, if you work normally on Saturdays, I do expect you to try and get off work. You can't just be like, oh, well, I work on Saturdays. Please do what you can to, take these time slots and make them available. Also, you must give me, you must find your proctor and give me the information for that proctor 2 weeks prior to the scheduled exam. So I need to know 2 weeks before this date who your proctor is. That means you can't be telling me 3 days before the exam, here's my proctor, or, oh, I can't take the test. You've got to give me 2 weeks heads up. And the reason I need this time is because I have 3 internet classes And if I have, let's say, 5 to 10 students from each class that need proctors, I have to coordinate a lot of different things, and that takes time. It usually takes me a good week to week and a half, going back and forth with the proctor to make sure that I have everything that they need and to make sure that they have everything that we need for you to take the exam. So give me that time and there will be no issues. Now, if you don't give me that heads up, then all I'm going to tell you is you need to be there on Saturday. It's just not enough notice. Okay, moving along. The math department, if you need to get in touch with them, if you need to contact the math department, that's their information. Here's my information. So I do have an email address, but like I said, you're going to communicate through Canvas. So if for some reason Canvas goes down, this is an alternate email address. I do have an office location. Here it is. It's in Juniper Hall. That's JH1110. I can also be reached at 210-273-1098. This is my cell number, and you're free to call me at any time. You can also send me text messages. I just ask that if you send me a text message, make sure you include who you are, what class you're in, and what I can do to help you. A lot of times students will just be like, hey, I need an extension on the homework. I wasn't able to finish it tonight or something like that, and I don't even know who they are. So make sure that you're very clear. You try and keep your text messages looking somewhat official. I know, text messages, a lot of times we use some weird form of English in them, but try and communicate properly with me in those text messages. Also, keep in mind that a text message is not an official way of communication. So although it's there for you, if you ever need something like a homework extension, you can text me, but also send me an email. That way we have it officially documented. All right? Okay, the next thing is my office hours. So I am available to all my students on these dates and these times, or these days and times during the week. So every Monday and Wednesday, I'll be in my office from 9 to 11 a.m. You can walk in, you can get, ask questions, ask specific questions about math problems or just general questions about the course. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll be there from 11 to 1 and then again from 3 to 4. Now, I will also have other students that will show up during those times, so I'm not saying these are, times that we can have one-on-one meetings, but if you're the only one there, then it will be one-on-one. Just keep in mind that other people may be, visiting with me at those time slots. Also, I'm on campus on Fridays, but we have a lot of departmental things going on, meetings and things like that. So I can usually do something, but you have to schedule an appointment with me, and we can do that, via email. Now, in order to complete this course, you're not going to need to buy a book. What you'll be using is what's called an access code, and so you'll be purchasing this with a credit card. And I'm going to give you the access code. In fact, I think I will. Well, I'll give it to you in a second. The access code is what you'll use to get into the electronic textbook and actually to go to do all your homework, your homework problems, quizzes, and you do have a few tests that you do online. You do need a scientific calculator for this class, and it cannot be your phone. When you come on campus to take your exams, the 2 exams, you cannot use a phone during the exam, so make sure you have a scientific calculator. Make sure that you're familiar with it, and everything's good. The other requirement, and I don't know why it is that students seem to somehow miss this sometimes, and it really, really hurts them in the end. I do require that you keep a binder for the class. And in this binder, you will have, all of your handwritten quizzes and exams. So you can read through this yourself. The binder, I recommend a 2 to 3 inch binder because it's going to have a lot of stuff in it. And there's a table of contents for this binder. It's in Canvas, and I'll show it to you in a minute. That table of contents needs to be printed out and put as the first page of this binder. You will turn this binder in at exam 4. So you only have to turn the binder in at the last exam you come on campus for. And if you do not have this binder with your handwritten work in it, you do not get any credit for anything you've done online. So I need to see your handwritten work that will go along with what you did on the computer at home in order for anything to count. So no binder, no credit. This is also a way for you to earn extra points in the class. So if you have a very neat binder, I'll give you bonus points. The binder is part of your grade too. It's 5% of your total grade, but I've been known to add bonus points to it if the binder is really well organized. And by that I mean you have nice clean tabs between each of the sections. Some students go as far as labeling each assignment. The more the merrier here. The more organized you are, the more points you can get. But overall, again, even though it's 5% of the grade, you have to have one. If you don't, then everything's zeroed out and you'll basically fail the class. So got to have the binder. Okay, so Math 1325. It's kind of a study. It's kind of like a version of calculus, but it's sort of watered down a little bit, and it focuses a lot more on business and economics and social sciences. So it's just kind of shows you how we use some of the things in calculus to apply to business problems. Now, we don't get a real heavy into the application. So you might, while you're going through this, be like, how in the world, you may be sitting there going, how is this connected to business? But, it is, it's just kind of laying the foundation for later. So just keep it in mind as you're going through it. Now, a lot of you are probably coming from 1324, so you're familiar already with all this online stuff, but I'm assuming you didn't take 1324 online and that this is your first time. Also, you could have been coming from Math 1414, so you may have no experience at all with the online component of this course. So those are the prerequisites for the class. Objectives, I'll let you read through this yourself. The outcomes, I'll let you read through that. Standard grading scale. Here's how your grade is broken down. All your homework will be done online. It's 15% of your grade. All your quizzes will be done online. Those are 20% of your grade. Exam 1 is done at home, in other words, online, and that's 10% of your grade. You come on campus to take that, what we call Exam 2. It's 20%. Now, Exam 2 will cover everything that we have done up to this point in the class. So the stuff that's on Exam 1 will also appear on Exam 2. Then Exam 3 will cover stuff that is after Exam 2. So Exam 3 is not cumulative. It's just going to be everything after Exam 2. And Exam 4 will only have Exam 3 material and then the stuff after Exam 3. So you can kind of look at the classes being broken up into two sections. You have this first section, which is Exam 1 and 2, and then the second section, Exam 3 and 4. And then your binder here at the end is 5%. So that's your 100% of the grade is broken up that way. Now the policies of the class, you have to watch this orientation video. Okay, so you're watching it right now. That's a good thing. This describes a little bit about each of the homework problems, and I'm going to take you through the homework to kind of show you how this works. You can read through this again if you'd like. Quizzes, same thing. I'll let you read through that, but I'm going to show you how the homework and quizzes works, and then talks a little bit about the online exams and the on-campus exams. Now, on the on-campus exams, you are allowed to use what we're going to call a cheat sheet here, even though I'm not encouraging cheating. That's what we normally call them. This is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. You may put it right on both the front and the back of that page, and you may put any formulas, helpful steps, or procedures on this sheet. What you cannot put on the sheet are just worked out problems. So as long as you use it as a template, you go through and you find the problems, the topics that really cause you trouble or require a lot of steps, and you write those steps down, and then during the exam on campus, you'll be better prepared for them. There are not reviews for exams 1 and 3 because those are done at home, but before the on-campus exams, there are reviews. They are going to be they'll be mixed in with your homeworks and quizzes, and those are part of your grade, so you need to make sure you do those. These reviews are your best preparation for your on-campus exams. If you can do the review, if you can do it successfully, you will do well on the exams, on Exam 2 and 4. And that's just because the exams, Exams 2 and 4, are pretty much the reviews, just some new problems mixed in there, changing some numbers around. So If you can do the review, you're in good shape. Okay, the rest of this is just stuff about, if you miss an exam, what you need to do. If you're having technical issues, who do you call, when they're open. A little bit about, if you email me or text me or something, I try and respond within a day, but, sometimes I get buried underneath a lot of emails, and it takes a little longer. So please, be patient with me, but just remember, if it's really urgent, just call me. Just call my cell phone, all right? Some common sense stuff. If you don't want to be in this class anymore, you go through and drop the class. Do not assume I will drop you, okay? So go through the process. At least, at the minimum, send me an email requesting to be dropped. Okay, I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, no, here we go. I want to talk about this. All right, even though this is an internet course, I do understand that life happens, okay? We all are faced with challenges sometimes in our life that when we least expect them. So, if you are in a situation where something comes up and it's really causing some issues for you, I just ask that you communicate with me. I don't need to know all the details, but if you've fallen behind, send me an email. Just explain to me what's going on, and if I know it kind of as it's happening, it's better than finding out a month later, and then I can work with you and maybe do something to help you out. So just keep in mind, I'm a human. I understand things happen. How you will actually learn in this class varies from student to student. You have access to an online textbook. If you can read a textbook, then you could do that. You could read the textbook and try and learn from the textbook. There's videos that you can watch. They aren't the best videos, but they're decent and they can kind of help you. Just practicing the homework problems over and over, that helps. So every student kind of finds their own way through this and finds what works best for them. I will kind of show you a way in a little while of how students are actually, a lot of students are learning in this class. But if for any reason you have kind of a question about like, how am I supposed to do this class, just give me a call. Be happy to talk to you about it. And, just be prepared to invest time. I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks or downsides to an internet course is that students think that, okay, it's an internet course. What I can do is I can just wait and just put it off, and then I'll just have like 3 nights where I'm just going to cram all this information in my head. And that's just, students, especially in math classes, are not successful when they try and do that. And as much as I tell you that that's the way it is, it still happens. So I hope that you have time in your life to commit, maybe an hour or 2 hours every day or every other day to this, so that you can succeed. But have realistic expectations for yourself. Don't expect that you're going to cram 3 weeks of material in one night. It's just not going to happen. Okay, there's some tutoring information. This is some other stuff about dropping classes. We have a schedule. Now, I am required to put this in the syllabus, but I have a much better schedule for us to look at. So I even put it in here. Don't use this schedule. See the homepage in Canvas. So this is just so I can fulfill the requirement of having the schedule in here. There's some additional items in here and some policies for the college. I'll let you read through those on your own. All right, so that's pretty much the syllabus. And now let's get to the schedule. So I told you I had a schedule. There it is. You can download it, open it up, and you can print it out. And now I tried to fit it all on one page, so it's very small font. So I'm going to zoom in on this so you can kind of see how this works, or see everything here. And maybe a little too big. Okay, so the way I tried to break this out, or write this out, is week by week. So down the left-hand side here, these are all the weeks. And then I have the due date. If there's any due date within that week, it's listed here. And then what's due. So in the first week, which is the week of August 24th to August 30th, you have one due date. It's on the 27th of Thursday, and it's the homework 0, which is the attendance verification and syllabus confirmation. You also have, biosig assignment, which I can explain to you in a second. So that's all you have done do in the first week. In the second week, you have nothing due. All right, and that's because you're working on the stuff that's going to be due in this third week. On Tuesday, September 8th, you have homework 1, homework 2, homework 3, and quiz 1 all due on that Tuesday, September 8th at 11:59 p.m. So even though this week says you have nothing to do, that doesn't mean you should do nothing. It means that you should be working on this stuff because it's going to be due on this Tuesday. So there's going to be some time management requirements here for you. You're going to have to kind of look at the schedule, figure out when things are due, and then kind of tackle it, when you have this free time during this week. Then after that, in week 4, there's nothing due, but that's because you're working on the stuff that's going to be due in week 5, which is homework 4, homework 5, homework 6, homework 7, quiz 2, and exam 1. So you actually have an exam. This is a lot of material that's due here in the 5th week. So again, you're not going to be sitting on your hands here in week 4. You're going to be knocking all this stuff out. Notice also next to each homework assignment, you have in parentheses 1.2, 2.1, 2.3. These are the actual sections out of the book. So this is saying homework 1 covers chapter 1, section 2, chapter 2, section 1, chapter 2, section 3. Homework 2 covers 2.1, chapter 2, section 1. Homework 3 covers 10.1. So you can see we kind of jump around. We went 1, 2, and then we skipped a section in there. Then we jumped to chapter 10. That's kind of the way this class works. We jump around a little bit. So just be prepared for that. And then as we work down here, you can see here, notice you don't have a break between this week and this week. You actually have something due, but it's only 2 homeworks and a quiz. Then you have a little bit of a block here, a week where there's nothing due, but the following week you have a lot due. You've got a couple of homeworks, you have a quiz, and you have an exam 2 review, and then you have to come on campus for that midterm. So that takes us through week 8, week 9, week 10, nothing due. So this is kind of a period where you can kind of exhale a little bit. And then we're going to finish up the semester strong. You got a bunch of stuff due here. I went ahead and included when the drop date is for the class. So the drop date deadline is November 13th, which is a Friday. And then more and more stuff due. And then we have our final at the very end, which is on a Saturday. So that lays out the entire semester. That's what you can print that out, and that way there's no surprises. So I don't want anyone telling me, oh, I didn't know, or oh, I forgot. This is part of what's required in this class. You can't forget. This is the deadline, all right? Tuesday, September 22nd, everything here is due, all right? Okay, let me close the schedule up. All right, the next thing, let's talk a little bit about, I'm going to stay in here. Let's talk about the discussion board. There's a discussion board. It's very difficult to get students to participate in discussions, but I encourage you to come here if you have questions that you want to ask where the whole class can participate. So just come in here if you have a math question, bring it up. Just remember, this is a public forum, so everyone can see it. And then let me see here. I think you can just type in your message. You can even add, symbols, mathematical symbols in here if you want. You can put an attachment in the discussion posting, and then you post it. Okay, next thing I want to show you is files. So on the files, this is where you'll find the schedule that you downloaded a second ago, or that we downloaded a second ago. The table of contents I told you about is here. And then this thing called the error log. And I think I'm going to open this because when I don't open it and show it, and people always ask me later, like, what are you talking about, error log? The computer is very picky about your answers. And sometimes it'll count the problem wrong on the computer if you forget a comma or something like that. So instead of emailing me or calling me and freaking out about, oh my gosh, you counted it wrong because this, or even something like you forgot, you just messed up on a problem, but it was a little mistake. You can put that in this thing that we're calling the error log or the error list. And all you have to do is write down what assignment it was, what problem it was, and then just give me a quick description of what the issue was. I forgot a comma, or I forgot to distribute my negative sign, Whatever it is, what you're going to do is you're going to turn that into me. And I usually like to collect that at the midterm and the final. So if you have things that you want me to go back and look at, I will be happy to, but you just need to put it on this list. And then what I'll do is I'll look at the list, I'll go through your assignments, and I will give you credit back if it looks like you were close to getting the right answer. And that's why it's so important for you to also have all your handwritten work. It says it in here, you must also have handwritten work to support your claim. So don't just turn in the log. I'm gonna need a binder to look at also that has your stuff in it. All right, so there's the files, and that's it for files for now. People is a way that you can bring up a list of the students in the class and contact them. If you want, you can send emails to each other. And then this BrainFuse online tutoring is something new. It was implemented last spring. I don't know a whole lot about it. I've just seen it kind of, it was shown to us in a works, like in a short 1-hour session. But apparently there is, I think, 24-hour tutoring available. So live tutoring, let's see here. Let's actually take a look at this. Math. Let's see if we can get business cal here. See, I don't see business calculus. So you might do just calculus, and then you go to live help. So this live tutoring it's like an online whiteboard where you draw on your screen, and there's someone that's live that's typing back to you, and they're drawing on the screen too, and they might be able to help you. I'd like to know how it goes. If any of you actually use it, let me know how it goes, if you like it or not, because I believe the college is paying for that service and that they want feedback. So give it a shot. Just remember that I'm always there to help too. So you can always try and ask me to help you on problems. And if I need to make another video or something to help you, I can do that. The most important thing is that when you ask a question about a math problem, try and be specific about what it is you need help with. Don't just be like, hey, I need help on number 25 on homework 5. Like, I need to know some detail as to what's going on. Like, what are you not understanding? And then I can help you a little more. So, all right, more about that later when we look at the actual homework. So that shows you everything that's on our Canvas page. We've got our discussions, our files, our people, the online tutoring. You've seen all this, the inbox. So where is it that you go to do all your work? Well, that's this link right here. When you click on this, it will take you to Pearson's My Lab Mastering. So if this is your first time ever using this, you're going to want to register as a student. Oh, and before you register as a student, I better go ahead and get the course ID. So I'll get that for you right now. Uh-oh. Oh. Too many logins, right? All right, so there is a course ID, which I'm going to copy, and I'll put this in an email to you. And now I'm going to close this out. So back here, you go here, first time. This is your first time. You go and you want to register as a student, and they're asking you, do you have these 3 things? Email address. So yes, you can use your alamo.edu email address, the course ID, which is what I just copied and I'm about to paste in here. And then you either are going to have an access code or a credit card. If you want, you can buy an access code. You can go to our bookstore. You can buy the access code there. It's probably a little more expensive if you go to the bookstore. Credit card, you just pay right here online. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go and register. And they should ask, first thing is they're going to ask you for the course ID. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in there. And just so we know, it's DiGiovanni, that's my last name, DiGiovanni, 62446. 62446, and there's no space in there. Once you click continue, it's going, oh, it's not accepting registrations. That's correct. It's not open yet because I'm not allowed to have it open yet. But when that is open, you'll be able to go in and go through the registration process. Please pay attention. You know what? I really want you to see this actually, so let me try something. Bear with me for a moment. Actually, I'm going to pause the video and come right back. Okay, I got this fixed. This should work now. So you put in the course ID, and now it's going to say you're either going to sign in with an account you already have, or you're going to create a new one. So it just depends on you. I'm going to try and sign in with one I already have. And then now it gives me an option. Do I want to use the access code I bought at the bookstore? Do I want to pay with a credit card? So this is really kind of your cost of your book, right? $95.70. There was a day when I first started doing online when that was like 18, 20 bucks. Now it's really almost the cost of a textbook. So you go ahead and choose one of these. Now, if you're not sure if an internet class is for you, or if maybe you're waiting for financial aid or something like that, there is a third option, and that is to get temporary access. If you do this, you can get into the course immediately, but you have 14 days to either come back and put in a credit card or an access code. If you do not do that within 14 days, it's going to lock you out, and then you have to go through this long, drawn-out process to get yourself reinstated, and it's a real pain in the butt. So I encourage you to use this, but do not let the deadline come and go. All right? So choose what you want there, and then you can get into the class. So that's the registration. Now let me show you the actual signing in process. So you sign in, you put in your credentials, which it already remembers I was there, and this will be the MyLab's main page. And we can pretty much ignore most of this. If something shows up here in red, it'll be saying something like we're going to have maintenance on the system. They'll alert you here in the middle. But what you want to do is you want to click over here on the class itself. So this is where you go to do all your work. So let me see. I'm going to try and view this. That's not what I want. Sorry. They just updated the system, so there's some new bells and whistles I'm not quite familiar with yet. Okay, so what you will see over here, again, these things you won't see, I have this little icon next to them. You'll see Course Home, Multimedia Library, Homework, Quizzes, and Tests, and Gradebook. So your Course Home, this is what the page looks like. And on the top, you'll see like a calendar, a weekly calendar. If you click through this, it'll take you through, and you can see that on the week of the 24th, right, when school starts, you have something due on the 27th. If you hover over it, it'll tell you what it is, and you can actually go there and do it. And the first homework assignment, click on it. All it is a one-question homework assignment, and it just asks you to verify that you understand the requirements of the course. And so this is something where I'm going to go back and it says, I've read the syllabus, watched the orientation video, I understand all requirements. Okay, so I expect you to answer this correctly and then save it. So you can't come back later and tell me you didn't know, because you just verified you did. All right, so that's the first homework assignment. But that was on that calendar, so let me go back to that calendar. If you go to the next week, there's nothing due. And then the next week you've got, let's see, hover over it. You've got, oh, oops. There we go. You've got three homeworks and a quiz, and then nothing due. And then this is the big one. You've got, what, 4 homeworks, quiz, and an exam all due on that date. You can also look at the assignments through here. It shows you what's coming up, when it's due. So in 15 days, there's something due. You need to run this browser check on your computer to make sure that your computer has everything that it needs to be able to look at the videos and look at the textbook and everything else. And the all-important how to enter answers. If you're new to this system, you want to watch this tutorial. It'll show you all the different things you need to know about what they call the math palette and how to put in like a square root symbol and stuff. They make it really easy, but you need to watch that so you can avoid all those little errors I was talking to you about that the computer's real picky about. That's where it tells you about all that. Pearson also has some tutoring services. Not real familiar with those, but you can look into those yourself, and they have a survey. I don't even know what that's about. So, okay, over here on the right, it'll show your progress and your grade. So right now, I'm working on one of 27 homework assignments, and I haven't submitted anything, so I have no grade. All right, and let's now look at what's the multimedia library. So this is a way of accessing the different chapters in the book. So remember that first homework assignment, which was on our schedule. The first one here was 1.2, 2.1, 2.3. So I could go to 1.2 here, and I could go to, let's bring up everything that's associated to 1.2. And you'll see that there's the textbook here, there's a PowerPoint, and there's some video lectures that go through some 8 examples. And so I could, if I want, open the book right now and start reading through that chapter, and I can zoom it in. I can print pages. I don't believe you can print the whole book at the same time. Yeah, you can print, I think, like 1 page at a time or something like that. Obviously, they do that for copyright reasons. And so you can try reading through this. There's even interactive links right here, so you can see examples being done. I haven't tried one of these. Let me try. I haven't tried one in a while. Let's see. Let's now look at a different version of the compound interest formula to compare some interest rates and how much money we would have in the account after different compounding periods. Okay, so what's basically happening here is they're going through with the video, and they're doing this example. So in the video, you may not be able to tell. Let me go back in here. Let's now look at a different version of the compound. I'm going to go ahead and mute that. Move this forward. So it's kind of hard to see. Sometimes it's a little grainy here, but it's this problem right here being worked out. So, you know, you have access to the information right here in the textbook, and you can zoom in on that. So the 8 examples that were available to us over here, the 8 examples are actually the 8 examples from this section. If we go to the end of the section, there should be 8 examples total. So let's see. Example 7. I don't see 8. Where is example 8? Maybe they took out 8. Yeah. Okay, so either way, every example should be covered pretty closely there. So there's also the PowerPoint. I won't bring that up, but that's one way you can navigate through the book and get off to trying to understand how things are going, or learning, I guess is what we can call that, right? Other students, they just go straight to the homework. So if you click on homework, or if you click on quizzes and tests, it's going to bring them up individually. But in either one of these, at the top, you can just click Show All. And then, real important here, click over here on View All on one page. And what this is doing, it's showing you all the assignments for the entire course, and they're in chronological order. So that first homework 0, then homework 1, followed by 2, then 3, then quiz. So these are all in the order in which they appear in the schedule. And so a student can come in here and go, all right, well, I can't do that one yet. I have to finish this one first. Okay, so I have to do this one. I never put in my answer. So yes, I have watched. I have read the syllabus. Okay. Hold on. I need to submit this. Final check. So there we go. It's done. Save it and close. All right. So now I should be able to go back and go to all those assignments and list them all on one page. And notice it doesn't show the score. I actually have to click on it to see the score. Oh, it's not showing me the score yet because it's not due yet. So once it's due, it'll grade it. So now I go to homework 1, and now here are the questions. So you can start to get a feel for how these homeworks work. You can go ahead and look at them. You know, this covers 3 sections, and there are 8 questions. So I go through, let me say I go to the first question. So let's assume now I have not read the book, I haven't done anything. I can look at a problem like this, and I can look at it and go, wow, I have no idea what to do. Or maybe I already know how to do it, so I just go through and put in the answer. But over here are some things that you can get to help you. And I'm going to go through these in the order that I think are most helpful. First of all, why don't you just look at the textbook? So it just brings you to the section in the textbook that this content comes from, all right? Or, so you can start reading through that and try and figure this out. Or I can do the video. So this video should help me with that problem. I'm not going to say it's going to be perfect, but it should help me with the concept. You can view an example which would give you a problem just like that one with different numbers. And then it will take you through step by step, just in words, and then they work through the problem and then come to the answer. And then you can kind of take that and kind of reverse engineer it a little bit and see if you can figure this out. That way is not a great way to learn. It's more of you just trying to copy it and not really understand what's going on. But at the end of the day, it's an example for you to look at. And then there's the help me solve this. So let me go ahead and show you first before I hit help me solve this. What happens if I put in the wrong answer? It's going to tell me it's incorrect. Then it's going to give me another chance without doing anything. Try and put 34 in it. Check the answer, counts it, and says, nope, it's not correct. Try again. So now I put in a final answer and check it. It's saying final check because I get 3 tries at this. And now what it's going to happen, it's going to tell me what the correct answer was. It's going to tell me what my answer is. And it's going to count it wrong by putting a little red little arrow thing in the corner. If I hover over it, it tells me what I answered. So it's counted this wrong. So now what I do is you have not played this question. No, I don't. So now I'm going to save this. Let me see. Oh, cancel. Hold on. There's another part to this question. Sorry. So I forgot. I've got to do the next part first. Let me try this again. We get 2 tries at a multiple choice, and it's wrong. Try this. Done. Once we get to the point where we've got the entire problem done, okay? So I got 3 tries for that answer. Because this is multiple choice, I got 2 chances. Because this was multiple choice, I got 2 chances. Now, once I'm done, it's counted it wrong, and I've got the homework problem wrong. But because it's a homework problem, I can ask the computer to generate another problem for me. And now I get another try with new numbers, and I can go through the problem again. And I can do this, I believe I have it set for you to be able to do this 3 times. So you can get everything wrong, and then ask it for another problem, and you can do that, ask it for another problem 3 times. After the 3rd time, that's it. It's done. You just don't get the concept. And that's when you would probably try and want to email me and ask for help. Okay, so you work through all the problems. To help me solve this button, the way that works is, let's go to number 2. Let's say I'm working through this. I go through the book and all that, and I just have no idea how to do this. So I click Help Me Solve This. Watch what happens above this 2 as soon as I click Help Me Solve This. So it's going to now take me through this problem exactly. It's going to show me how to do it, but it's going to ask me for the intermediate pieces here, and I'm going to check as I go. So as you're working through this, hopefully you'll get to the answer and be happy. But it's counted it wrong, and it's generated a new problem for me. So it's giving me a second attempt at it. So to help me solve this button is good, but it's going to count it. You're going to lose one of your attempts by hitting that button. So just be aware of that. Okay, so that's how the homework works. Now let me show you the difference between that and a quiz. So let me try and go back here to. So with a quiz, notice next to a quiz it says 0 of 3 attempts. When you click on a quiz, it tells you, all right, you ready? All right, here we go. You'll notice on a quiz that you have no help on the side, no buttons or anything. You go ahead and you put in your answers, and then you go to the next question. And it doesn't tell you whether or not you got it right or wrong. And you can skip around from question to question if you feel more comfortable with other problems. You put your answers in, next question, and then when you're done, you submit the quiz, but only when you're done. You submit the quiz. It says you've not completed 4 questions. You sure you want to do that? Yes, submit. Now it's going to grade it. So it looks like I got something right here. I can go back and look at question 1, see what I got right. So it looks like I got this one right, and then this one was wrong, and this one was wrong. And then on the second one, I got it wrong. The third one, I got it wrong. And what's cool about this is that you can actually go in here and look at what the correct answers were. And if you hover over it, it'll tell you what you scored, or what you answered. So it says, hey, you didn't put an answer here. And that's because I skipped these. But that's a good way of going back and getting immediate feedback. You know, there's the correct answer. Was I even close? No, I put 34. So you have immediate feedback. You can print this out and review it if you want. And I didn't mention that about the homework. There was that option when you're in the homework that you can actually print the entire homework assignment out. So that's pretty good if you want to print out like just one problem. You can print just that one, or you can print the whole thing. Then take it to the tutoring lab and get help. All right. Now, I've shown you a homework and a quiz. Now let me just show you the online test. The online test, oh no, I didn't show you the quiz. The quiz, I did submit it, didn't I? So I've done it 1 of 3 times. I can go ahead and do a second attempt now. So now what's going to happen, it's going to generate another quiz for me, different numbers, and I get to go through it just like I did before. You can do that 3 times for each quiz. You get 3 shots at each quiz. The exam, though, is just like a quiz, except you only get 1 try. So this is exam time. You've got to know what you're doing, and you're at home, and you've got all your notes there with you, and you've got all your handwritten work. So problems, there's no surprises here. These problems, you should have seen them already, so hopefully you understand them. And that's it. You submit it, and whatever your grade is, that's your grade. Okay. So I believe I've covered it all. Make sure you also keep in mind the reviews. Remember I said the reviews before the exam 2 and the review before exam 4 are very important reviews. So make sure you do those. Your grades. So as your grades appear, as you start completing grades, right now I can't really look at any grades because nothing's due yet. Okay, so due dates haven't come yet. But once you have done your homeworks and quizzes, you can come back here and review them. And this is a good place to go if you want to practice something again. So if you click on this, again, it's not due yet, so this isn't going to work. But if you click on this review, then you can actually go in and like redo assignments. It's just not going to affect your grade because you are reviewing. You see that up here? Okay. All right. Something about the binder I forgot to mention while we were going through this. When you're doing your homework assignments, I encourage you to write down your work on pieces of paper and just keep that, stick it in your binder. In fact, that's extra credit for your binder if you do that. But I do not require you to write down all your homework and put it in your binder. Your quizzes, on the other hand, and your tests must be handwritten. So when you go to sit down to take a quiz, you need to go ahead and write down all your work. I don't need you to write down the problems because I can always come back and look at the problems, but I need to see the work that goes with the problem. And there's another thing I didn't mention, which is important. In the homework, I forgot to show you one very important button in here. Showed you the print, but I forgot to show you the Ask My Instructor button. This is a very important button. If you're having problems with this, and let's say you've already tried it twice and you just can't figure it out, you can click Ask My Instructor. It will send me an email, and all you have to put in here is what you're having trouble with, like I'm stuck on step 3 when they distribute the blah, blah, blah. You put that in there and you click Send. You don't have to give me any information about the problem. I will actually get an email, and when I click on that email and open it up, it will take me to a screen that looks exactly like this. So I will know what your problem is, or what the problem that you're referring to is. I just need you to tell me what it is you actually need help with. Just put that in there, click Send, and I'll try and get back to you within 24 hours if possible. Okay. All right, that that does it. I don't think there's anything else. I've covered everything on this. Go back to Canvas. So you know what the syllabus says, you know the schedule, when things are due, you know where to go to do your work, you know how to get registered online, you know about the discussion board, where the files are, the online tutoring that I want you to try out, the inbox for the class. So at this point, if you have any further questions, I encourage you to contact me. You have my cell phone number, and I hope that this semester goes well for you. Do not hesitate to get in touch with me. I'd be happy to help you with any math-related questions. Good luck. We'll talk soon.